This is the Sony A7CR, and I'm going to tell you why it is a much more compelling option than the new Sony RX1R Mark III. Let's get into it. Recently, Sony released the RX1R Mark III, and if you're anything like me, you have been inundated with videos on your YouTube feed of people talking about this tiny little compact camera. If you are unaware of this camera, it is the tiny compact version of this, the A7CR, which is a tinier, more compact version of the one I'm shooting on, which is the A7R V. I won't bury the lead. This is intended to be a lifestyle luxury camera that puts itself between the Leica Q3 and likes of the Fujifilm GFX, I believe it is, at an eye-watering $5,100. That's what it's for, and I think the compromises that it makes are unacceptable at the price range, and let's talk about why. Are there a lot of things to love about that camera? Absolutely, but I think the value proposition versus the A7CR is just skewed. Let's get one thing out of the way. I did not pay full price for my A7CR. A couple of years ago, Amazon made a mistake and accidentally listed the A7CR for the same price as the A7C II at only $21.98 for a few hours. So I did not get this at full price. I paid A7C II price for the A7CR. I still think at the full $3,000 retail for the A7CR versus the RX, you are still getting ahead and getting more for your dollar. Let's go through what the RX1R promises and where I think it falls down. The positives, it's got the same sensor and everything. Basically, it's the A7R V, which I love, crammed down to a teeny tiny package. This is the smallest version of a full frame camera that Sony has ever come out with, but to what effect? Is it pocketable? And the answer is no. One of the beautiful things about point and shoot cameras is that those tended to be retractable lenses or small enough that you could just put them all the way in your pocket. So while this could be an everyday carry that you'd end up with in a bag or you'd maybe hang around your neck and it's the thing you're just taking with you, it's not as simple and straightforward as a point and shoot or in most cases, your cell phone. The practicality of it being extra small doesn't really change it from a slightly larger camera like the A7CR. What are you giving up? You are giving up a good hand-holding grip. And in addition, if you say, you know what, my hands are a little bit bigger, I actually need to have something a little extra, I've got to get some extra grip to it, right there. This comes with the grip extender if you want something bigger. You want to put it into fully portable mode where you're taking it into somewhere that maybe you want to be a little more discreet? There you go. The other thing that the bigger grip gives you is the bigger battery. The batteries on that RX1R, I've seen all the reviews now, just like you have, they can't hold a long enough charge, so you don't have all day shooting. Generally with this, unless I really push it or do a bunch of video, one battery will get me through nearly every use case that I have. I never go through two of them though. I would be going through multiple batteries with that RX. So now that portability we just talked about, even if you could put it in your pocket, how many batteries do you have to take with? Well, what else are we giving up? It's a fixed lens. Interchangeable lenses give you the level of flexibility that is one of the reasons I bought into the Sony system in the first place. There are third-party lens options that are fantastic, and you can avail yourself of those. There's a lot of small, compact primes and zooms that are available from companies like Tamron and Sigma that you otherwise would not have access to if you go with something that's fixed lens. While the Zeiss 35 may have a lot of character, we also have to put that up against all the other lenses that you could possibly have. Not to mention that the focus motors on that 35 Zeiss are not up to snuff with where cameras are today. No IBIS in this camera seems shocking, honestly, in 2025, especially at a $5,100 price point. In photo mode, not nearly as big of a deal. During most daylight, outdoor scenarios, you have plenty of light to deal with. But when we get inside into darker conditions, you're gonna wish you had that IBIS, because without that IBIS, you're gonna be really pushing the ISO and forced to bring that stuff in post. It can cause missed shots where otherwise with an A7CR, you would get those. The most unconscionable though, especially at this price point, is the fixed screen on the back. The previous version of this had a tilt screen. If you've watched this channel before, you know that my A7R V, one of the primary things I love about it is the screen. And I have been able to more clearly and accurately see the things that I am trying to shoot when using this camera because of it. My opinion is Sony should put this on every camera that they produce, period. Even if it were to make the RX slightly bigger, I would still put it on there because it's that good. And instead, they've gone the complete opposite direction and given you what amounts to a Canon ELPH from the late 90s, early 2000s. What are you doing, Sony? That's a bad choice. And especially when most of this is a parts camera anyway, you should have picked a different part. And I have no qualms about saying that the quality of the EVF on the A7C, A7C2, and now the RX are not up to snuff and where they need to be compared to the market. Sony, who makes screens, makes sensors, they make all these pieces, should be leading the way in the market and forcing other companies to come to them. And instead, they are getting surpassed by their competition when it comes to the quality of the EVF. So those are the things that I don't like about the RX, but why do I think that this is such a better purchase? This is just a more complete package. And if you're doing anything beyond taking quick snaps of your friends, I think what you're going to want is something a little bit more robust. So I took the A7CR with me out to Denver, Colorado when I was there recently, and I wore it around all day, every day for multiple days, and never once did my neck get tired, my hands get tired, my back ache, none of that. And if you want to keep this thing as compact as possible, you can do what I did while I was in Denver and keep it to a single lens that you put on the camera the entire time. Sony makes 3 compact lenses specifically for the C range of cameras: a 50mm f2.5, a 40mm f2.5, and a 24mm f2.5. Each one of these has got slightly different pluses and minuses to it, but you're getting G-lens quality. You've got the clickable and declickable aperture ring, autofocus manual focus button. You've got a focus hold button that you can reprogram to whatever you want. Overall, one of those lenses coupled with this camera is just going to be a better choice for the dollar and as a tool to get things done and really be able to capture things the way that you want to. I just see this as a far superior option. Certainly when we then talk about the used market, there's no comparison here. This is a clear choice of going with the A7CR. And if you are buying this as a fashion statement luxury item that it's designed for, just buy a Leica. You're welcome. If you want to see an in-depth review on the Sony A7R V that I'm shooting on right now, you can see that right over here. And I'll catch you on the next one.